Hey look, I got some new parts. I went ahead and picked up outer wheelhouses in case I don't use the ones that are currently on the car. And I also got my Detroit Speed Mini Tub kit. Let's do a quick unboxing of this guy real quick and see what's in there. All right, we got some paper. That's always handy, right? Get that junk out of the way. This is going to be the closeout plates and maybe some instructions or something. I don't know. We'll dig into that. And we got these guys. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty spanky. Put that guy right there. I'll grab this other fella. Well, she's got a little surface rust on her. I guess the protective coating rubbed off in shipping. Let's pull these out and see what we got. All right, got them unpacked here. Sure enough, got instructions and some templates there. Closeout plates for the frame rails. And then here's the mini tubs. I went ahead and laid the old inner wheelhouses over the top of it to see how good it is. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Perhaps we should, yeah, you can see how much wider they are. Like whenever I cut this off, I tried to cut it off right along this lip here. And you can see it's going to add just about 3 inches to that wheelhouse. Yeah, let's play with these a little bit. Okay, I'm doing a little test fitting here with the Detroit Speed Mini Tubs and the Dynacorn International outer wheelhouses, see how they go together. One important area of alignment is this edge right here. You want the outer wheelhouse to tie into the inner wheelhouse, and I'll show you where that is on the car. You've got your quarter panel that comes down around here, and then you've got your rocker right here, and that inner wheelhouse comes down around the inside and follows that rocker down here, and then your inner wheelhouse comes in here. Now, the factory inner wheelhouse comes inside of this flange. The mini tub is going to go beyond that flange, so this flange right here is going to have to come off there, but I want to make sure that those line up across the bottom there. Let's go take a look at them. So, got this guy lined up here. The alignment holes here are like way off. Next thing that I want to do is make sure that this seam in here lines up so that they look like they're supposed to be, you know, instead of stepped. If one's half an inch up, it's not going to look right. Probably not going to perform all that well. There's a bit of a gap, but I can clamp it together, squeeze it together. The problem that presents is as I do that, this back edge here kicks up, right? And so I end up with whenever I clamp this here, that there comes up. I think it's something that I can probably work with and deal with, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to play around with it some more. Here's the driver's side. Whenever I line up this edge here, the alignment holes are a lot better. And as well, the seam lines up a bit better around in here. It's still kicked up a bit on this end, but we'll see how it goes. I want to test the mini tub with the old outer wheelhouse in there to see how it lines up, see if it lines up any better. So let's do that. First thing I got to do to get that mini tub in here is to cut off this flange here. Kind of makes me sad because I rebuilt all of this and patched that in, and I thought it looked really great, but it's got to go away. Okay, just an initial test fit of this new mini tub. It's got a bit of a gap there, but the flange on this guy should cover that. It's fitting pretty good. I remember this is that flange that's going to be covered by the new outer wheelhouse whenever I put that in. And yeah, I think she's doing all right. I mean, it's not perfect yet, but it'll get there. Swing around here to the inside, and you can see there's a pretty good gap right here. Between the mini tub and that rocker there, but I think I can push this forward and get it to fit up in there good. But it's doing all right up along in and around where it's supposed to be. So let's go ahead and cut out that outer wheelhouse. All right, I'm getting this outer wheelhouse cut out of there. I used the cutoff wheel around this area here, around that inner quarter structure, around where they had welded this guy in here. If you take a look, they didn't do the plug welds or spot welds like they did from the factory. Instead, they welded along the seam back here. But I got this all loose, and then I'm coming in on the inside of that quarter flange with a ball burr and just hitting those spot welds around in there and popping this thing off there. It won't be long till I've got it off, and then I can move forward. Looking good. Okay, I got all the spot welds popped off there. I cut this guy out. Let's see if she'll fall out of there now. There's part. Oh, come on. Come on. Let's see here. There we go. There we go. All right. Good deal. Now I can get into this rust back here that was going to be an issue in the near future. Take care of all of this and rebuild it and make it new. I didn't mangle this lip on the quarter panel too bad at all. Actually, it looks quite good. Just where the spot welds were, I popped those. Now I've got to do a little more cleanup on this area up in here where this inner quarter roof structure is. There's a little bit of the wheel well still stuck on there, as well as down in here where they welded here. Instead of using the tab, they welded over the top of it, so I'll clean that up a little bit. The quarter panel here is a little wiggly because it's not really attached there, so do a little cleanup in there. Yeah, not bad. Okay, I cleaned up here where these spot welds were. I ground those down so they're nice and smooth all the way around. I also cleaned up this area here, took that piece of metal off there and ground those. Oh, easy there, light. As well as I cleaned up down in here, this tab area here. I've still got to clean the metal off this here where they did the old outer wheelhouses, the new old outer wheelhouses. I gotta clean that up there and up in here as well where they've got that metal still stuck on there. I can't get a good angle here, but you can see the deliciousness that's up in there. Anyway, clean that all up. I can start test fitting the outer wheelhouse anytime now. Okay, after a couple of hours with my favorite grinding apparatuses, I got that metal all cleaned up. It'll need some weld repair where these holes are, but that's not a big deal. I can handle that, as well as I did this guy up in here. Let's back this up a little bit and see if we can't see it. Yeah, right up across there. Cleaned all that yucky metal off there. Let's test fit this inner and see what kind of problems we can find with it. Okay, here's the new outer wheelhouse set up in there. It's not clamped or anything. It's just hanging out there. And I've got a little bit of an issue with this area right here. This flange is out away from this metal here a bit. Sorry, there's just no good angle in here. Pretty good gap in here to get the bottom lined up. So I think that I may need to reshape this bottom area just a little bit. And I know that like this quarter is a little bit loose in here, so it's got to come in. If you check out this flange up along in here, it's got to go out a little bit, but it's up against this guy right here pretty tight, pretty good there. So I think this needs a little bit of reshape. Pull it in. The back over here is looking pretty good. It needs to be pulled in a little bit, but this stuff will all move just a little bit, so hopefully there's some adjustability there. In order to get, if I try and get this metal flush here, it pushes up, and you see how there's a gap here between that and that. I'm not a huge fan of that because as well that makes this bottom end stick down a little bit, and I Don't like that. I'd like this thing rotated forward just a little bit so it comes down there and fills in this space nicely. It'll take a bit more playing with to get it sorted out, but I mean, it's not terrible. It just needs some adjustment. Let's go ahead and try the inner wheelhouses in here. See how it looks. Okay, I got the mini tub mounted up here. I've just got one clamp on it so that I can see kind of how it's going to fit and where my issues are going to be. And right off the bat, I see this guy right here is going to be a bit of an issue. Now, if I clamp that shut, it draws this in, and well, frankly, there's no point in having a mini tub if it's in there at an angle and cutting out your wheel clearance. So that may need some adjustment. I still need to rotate this outer wheelhouse around so that it comes down over there. Maybe that'll fix it a little bit. We'll see. Take a look up here in front if I can. Yeah, there's a pretty good gap here that I want to try and erase if I can. Other than that, up along here it looks all right. Yeah, so I'll keep playing with it. And what I'll actually do is pull this apart, take this outer wheelhouse and compare it to the one that came out of here. Especially right in this area. See, I didn't mangle it too bad whenever I took it out of there, so maybe I can use it as kind of a guide or a template for this new one and make things fit a little bit better. So let's try that. All right, as I'm pulling this thing out of here, I noticed that it's really binding up like right in here, and I think that may be the main source of the fitment issue down here. So I'm going to pull this off and flatten this, bend this lip in a little bit and see if I can't make it fit a little bit better. All right, so I flattened that lip a little bit up and around there, and it's fitting in there a lot better. Got this kind of clamped up where I like it. I split the difference between the gap here and the overhang here. I might want to try and rotate that a bit more, but it's fitting in there pretty good right now. Mini tub's clamped up in there. It's looking pretty good, except of course back in here. So what I think I'll end up doing here is actually splitting this outer kind of fairly next to this flange, and then pulling it over and then welding it up. But we'll do that some other time. I think right now I want to go ahead and jump over here and cut off that little flange overhang there and test fit the inner wheelhouse or the mini tub on this side and see what I'm dealing with over here. Maybe I'll learn something about this side while I'm doing that side. All right, I cut off the little flange there and got this guy kind of fitting up in here. It's fitting pretty good. It's hitting that seat back brace right there though, and that's kind of a pain, but other than that, it's fitting all right. I've still got the old outer wheelhouse in there, so it's not fitting perfect. Got some gappage there, and then as well back here at the back, got a little bit of gappage right in there. So I think I'll leave this for now and just work on that driver's side and get it straightened right away completely, and then move on. So we'll do that. I think I'll end this video right here and do something different.